A very warm welcome to Bogense for the Women's Elite UCI World Cyclo-cross Championship. As we look across this 2.6 kilometre course, the weather conditions have changed pretty significantly in the last 20 minutes. Take a look at the sights and sounds of this little town that hosts the championships. Well, the weather has drawn in. Everyone is getting ready for this championship. But over the last 20 minutes or so, the rain and sleet has started to fall. It's pretty cold and it's a lot windier. So this race is about to be a little bit different to what we might have expected. There's the course. Simon, you've nipped out in the break. How is the weather going to affect this?
I think it's just going to make it a little bit more slippery and a little bit more muddy. I think that most of the riders we're seeing now are either on a full mud tyre or on a semi-mud tyre. So rhinos for those on Dugast, Lemus and Baby Lemus for the challenge riders. It's not very nice out there now. It's a really heavy drizzle, but it's 1 degree centigrade. The wind's definitely picked up. So the exposed sections on this straights on the course are going to be a little bit harder. Some shelter would definitely be welcomed on those. And yeah, it's just a little bit more mud around, I think. Could be clogging tyres, definitely be clogging shoes, I think. The camber that we saw in the other races that's causing the big challenge is going to be difficult. And I think we saw Isabit stamping on his pedals the last lap up there to try and get his feet back in. I think that's just going to start to compound, and riders might be struggling with treads filling up. So certainly tyre choice important, spikes in the front of shoes important, and just that ability to make last minute decisions on both in the last half hour, really.
Yep. So everyone's got to have had to keep an eye on the weather. Everyone thought it's just going to be dry. It's going to be exactly as the other two races, but suddenly it's all changed. Everyone huddled together. The last moments of jackets coming off. Marianne Vos still has an umbrella over her right now. There is Katie Compton. Compton getting ready. Silver in 2007, 11 and 18. Bronze medalist in 2009. Alongside her, Loose Cells. Consistent rider, hasn't produced a big result. Caitlin Keogh, winner of a World Cup this season in Iowa, very consistent rider. Alongside her, the defending champion, 2 years running, Sanne Cant of Belgium. Alongside her, 7 times the world champion, Marianne Vos. Then it's Anna-Marie Verst, the under-23 world champion in 2017. Alongside her, probably the race favourite, Lucinda Brand. Has won many rounds of the World Cup this season, and the winner in Coxsider in her first World Championship on the first row of the grid, Denise Betsema of the Netherlands. Light rain, 2 degrees centigrade, wind at 15 kilometres an hour. It's grim, it's going to be cold, and it's going to produce a very, very good race. I'm certain of that. 40 riders take to the start line, and a lot is expected of this race. Vos absolutely focused on the race start. So the heartbeats will go, and then we'll get this race underway. Look at Sanne Cant, she's ready. She's not had the season to remember. Is it going to end with another world title? Underway then, Marianne Vos off like a rocket. Look at her go. Such a fast start from Marianne Vos, sprinting as though it's the end of a race, and she goes clear with Anna-Marie Verst trying to get onto her wheel immediately. Ellen van Looy up there, but Vos is straight through the corner first. Marianne Vos with a little advantage over that bridge. The riders, Helen Wyman's not had a great start on the second row. Nikki Brameyer's not had a great start either. But Sanne Cant's had a great start. Ellen van Looy is up there, no worries. Lucinda Brand's had a great start. Low Cells also. So it's all about the Netherlands and Belgium at the front. Katie Compton's had a good start for her. Normally starts a little bit slower. So Compton is up there in the mix. So Vos, Anne-Marie Verst, Sanne Cant, Ellen van Looy. Behind Ellen van Looy, Lucinda Brand, Denise Betsema, Maud Kapteins, Luz Sells, and then behind her, Katie Compton. It's all Belgium and the Netherlands.
Great start from Van Looy there from the second row. You imagine her, she went forward, Bramia went backwards off that second row start.
Yeah, Bramai didn't have a good start at all, and she would have expected to be up there. Christine Majeras up there for Luxembourg. Caitlin Keogh is tucked in on the wheels. Really fast along this section, and Denise Betsema is leading this, the winner in Coxside. I spoke to her before the race starts. She said there's no pressure on her at all. It's her first World Championship. Her legs are good, and she feels like she's at home, because the little island she lives in on the north of the Netherlands feels a little bit like this. So she doesn't feel like she's under any pressure whatsoever. Lucinda Brand said before the start, it's fast, it's windy. She feels good, she feels ready. She spent all week watching movies and riding her bike. Fast start by the Netherlands riders. Denise Betsema looking good already. Sanne Cant, Simon, not had a great season so far, has she?
Well, she's just been, I think, kind of 1 or 2% off. I don't think she's had a particularly awful season. She's been thereabouts in every race she's done. She's just maybe not had the number of wins that we would expected in the previous years, you know, but she's been, I think she's done the Rainbow Stripes proud. I think she's one of these riders that competes every single race, never misses a series, doesn't miss a race to go training camp. She's always there. And yeah, I think, yeah, just not necessarily a reflection on her. I think more a reflection on the quality of new women coming in to this front group of the sport. I think we're seeing new names like Betsema, we've seen Lucinda Brand step up, we've seen Anne-Marie Verst. It's these new riders, the younger ones, that are coming into this front group that are maybe making life a little bit harder for Sanne. I don't think she's going any slower than she has done in previous years.
Well, I said to her before the start, what do you think of the course? She said it's special. Was her words.
That's polite, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. Yeah. But she said, I feel good, I'm ready, I'm healthy, and I'm looking forward to a good race. So Sanne is feeling like she could produce a result. She said that this is not what she expected. She expected that there would be a big group of riders in every race. When she saw the junior men's race, she was really surprised. So it's Denise Betsema, who is in her first year as a pro rider, a mother of a couple of kids, got her pro contract. Great to see her at the front of this race. Anne-Marie Verst, who in the last 3 weeks of World Cup cyclocross hasn't really been on it. She's clearly been a little bit under the weather, but today she's back up there and looking motivated, and as an under-23 world champion, we know she can do it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be an interesting dynamic within this Dutch team. I think the Dutch have got the favourites in Betsema, in Brand, Anne-Marie Verst, Marianne Vos. 4 riders, any one of those could win this, and I think it's going to be interesting to see who chases. We're seeing Anne-Marie Verst now chase Betsema down. She could have quite easily sat on Sanne Cant there and just let her Cant try to close the gap, let Betsema get a lead, but she hasn't chosen to do that. She's chosen to chase us. So it would appear that the Dutch aren't necessarily riding as a unit, but they're riding individually. So we'll just wait and see how it plays out, I think.
Yeah, clearly they've decided it's just every rider for themselves, but Betsema, you don't really want to let her go like this. So it's interesting to see how this off-canvas section's going to be. Doesn't look to be quite so slippy. Maybe the rain has made it a little bit easier across that top section. Anne-Marie Verst onto the wheel, looks down, just checks the bike. Sanne Cant safely there. Marianne Vos coming across.
Nikki Brammy has moved up nicely there. She's 5th, I think. Got swamped at the start, really poorly positioned into that first bridge off the road, but she's moved up really nicely, so good indication she's got good legs today.
Yeah. Betsema said to me before the start, the fact that there's sand and everything around here as well is good for her. She just feels very motivated. And she's leading this race with Verst trying to go with her. the fans are certainly in the party mood, and you wouldn't deny them a couple of beers right now to keep themselves a bit warm. A crash, and it looked to me like
Voss?
Maybe, no, Voss is just behind
It was
here.
the 4th Dutch rider.
Voss is their Brand, maybe, has crashed.
Brand, yeah.
Oops, yeah. Big crash there for Lucinda Brand. In fact, not big, she just slid off. Just shows that get the tyres wrong. And she said to me before the start, and this was, what, 2 hours ago, she said, I don't know what tyres to ride.
Yeah, and I think that decision's been made a little bit easier in the last 45 minutes with this rain. I think it's just made that difference to, if you were deciding between an intermediate tyre and a mud tyre, I think it would make the decision for you to go with a more grip, go with the mud tyre. I think I was mistaken there with Bramry. It wasn't it. I think it was probably the Van Looy that I was mistaking Bramry for. I think as we go across the finish line, we'll get a further idea of the riders in the top 10 now.
End of lap number 1, 2.7 kilometres, a 6:50 odd lap. Anna-Marie Verst, 6:38 was her lap time. Denise Betsema, 6:37.6, so a 6:38 lap. And Caitlin Keogh there with Lucinda Brand. Brand might be feeling a little bit of the pressure. And one rider that we should pick out here, because she came from the 4th row of the grid, and many people have said that she will win this world title. Jolanda Neff is already into 9th place, and she's only 12 seconds down.
Yeah,
that is ominous.
That is ominous, and that's also a really good start from her. Looking at this course, I wasn't one of the ones that was thinking she's going to win it. I think the rain will definitely help her. I think the slipperier, the more technical, the better for her. She's obviously put in a great first lap there, because 4th row isn't a nice place to start from in this company.
Especially with the fast start, that bridge just after the start. But Yolanda's been training in Mallorca for the last 3 weeks. I saw her and was out on a ride that we joined up with that she was on, and she was putting in some miles with the men's team and the women's team.
And Gary Fisher.
So clearly, she is a rider who has honed her form, and she said she was going to ride Hoogerheide, then go back, taper, and get ready for the World Championships. And if Jolanda Neff's come from the 4th row of the grid and is already nearly in the front group, this is going to be an interesting race completely, because the World Mountain Bike Champion, we know she's already finished up there on the podium of World Cups. She is going to be a rider that they're all going to have to watch out for here. This is impressive. Jolanda Neff finished 5th in Namur after coming from the 5th or 6th row of the grid from memory.
Sanne Cant doing a Bentulit there, just overtaking the Dutch riders to get up the hill first. Again, for Cant, surrounded by orange. That's needs to be careful that she's paying attention to what's going on around her, but again, so much experience, Sanne Cant. That's not going to be a problem, I don't think.
Let's just run through the top 10. Denise Betsema, Anna-Marie Verst, Sanne Cant. This was across the line the first time. Marianne Vos, Ellen Van Looy, Nikki Brammeyer, Lucinda Brand, Jolanda Neff, Caitlin Keogh, Katie Compton. That was the top 10. And Neff is working her way through the field. Brand on the other side of the course, pulling herself up on the barriers. It's an interesting race. There goes Neff. Caitlin Keogh just behind, a couple of places. It's flat out. The average speed, 23.5 kilometres an hour in the first lap. But it's all now about the rider here on the front who is taking the lead. Anna-Marie Verst, the under-23 world champion, sandwiched between the wins of Evie Richards. Sanne Cant on her wheel, Marianne Vos, Denise Betsema. That's the top 4 as the rest of the riders come over the hurdles. There's Neff on the right.
Katie Compton doesn't look like she's made that front selection, that kind of top 10 for the first lap. It's always interesting with Compton. I don't think she sometimes knows how she's going to go until that first lap's got out of the way, whether she's going to have the asthma issues that's plagued her. Certainly this season, she's had a real hard time with that. But right now, not looking so comfortable. Katie Keogh's the one that's representing the US in that top 10.
Look at Yolanda Neff go in that trio. See whether she get there. She's in good company with Brand, who knows. We know that Brand can come from this sort of position and get back up to there to the front of the race. But it's 3 Dutch riders and 1 Belgian so far in the front quartet of riders. Thanks for joining us for this World Championship. Thanks for all your various messages. Sue Butcher, thanks for your message. We'll talk to the sound guys and make sure they equalise our voices. It might be the channel sound mix for certain. Steve Glennon, hope you're enjoying the race. Andrew Roche supporting Yolanda Neff. Dave Terry doing the same. She has a huge following. Lucinda Brand's just having one of those laps at the moment. A few slips, a few slides. Dan Brock, glad you're enjoying it. Gert-Jan Warwick, I'm glad you're enjoying the race as well. Oh, problem there for Van Looy.
Oh, I can't stand up on that. Yeah.
Oh. Once you go on that camber, you go. This is the group of Nikki Brammeyer. This camera angle, this gives you an idea just how steep it is. Down onto the bridge, Caitlin Keogh currently running about 6th place with Brand in 7th, Brammeyer in 8th. On to the next run-up as the rest of the riders go round the bottom.
Yeah, Yolanda Neff's made that junction to that lead group. She's on the back of that now. That's a good place to be for Neff.
That is a big, big move in the first laps to get up there to the front. Yolanda Neff into the wheels and challenging now for the top places. Annemarie Vos, Sanne Cant, Marianne Vos, Denise Betsema, Yolanda Neff covered in mud, just flying right now. Here's Ellen Van Looy. That mistake, the back wheel just sliding away. Lucinda Brand just missing up, and there's nothing you can do. She's back up and riding. Good to see her recover.
Yeah, it's good to see her recover from a nasty crash before Christmas as well. She did a knee ligament injury in Overijs, I think, in Belgium, just before the Namur World Cup. Really nasty crash, nasty injury, but it's come back. Good to see her come back from that one.
Front group is now 5 riders, and they've slowed up because they've seen Neff come to the front, and that means that the group behind might well get back. So, end of lap number 2 of 7. The lap time last time was a 6:38. This time it's a 6:36 is the fastest lap. That lap time from the front group was a 6:48, but Yolanda Neff put in a 6:36 to get across the leaders. And Neff now is going to attack them. She's decided to just continue. She goes to the front. She's now in 2nd place from the 4th row in the grid. So Annemarie Vos, Yolanda Neff, Sanne Cant, Marianne Vos, Denise Betsema are the top 5 riders in this race, and Neff doesn't want this to slow up, because otherwise the group behind, which contains Lucinda Brand, Caitlin Keogh, Nikki Brammeyer, will come back, and Lucinda Brand is the big danger rider for everybody.
Yeah, it's a surprise for me not to see Brand in that group. She's trying to get across it with Bram here, but she's going to have a job on, I think.
Yeah.
She's come back well in races, though. The last 20 minutes of her races have been impressive this year, Brand.
They certainly have.
She's looked good. You know, she's got that. Look at her. You can see that power, can't you? You can see the that road strength, definitely. And I don't think 40 minutes phases her at all. So,
no,
it's a... Yeah,
she's riding across like she's on the road, like it's coming across in Omloop Het Nieuwsblad right now.
Well, it's almost a Pidcock, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Pidcock came across to that front group and jumped straight across.
Huge effort by Lucinda Brand, trying to join up with the 5 in front to make it 4 Dutch riders. Neff is in a little bit of a sandwich. Sanne Cant going to the other side. Brand is going to get there, so is Brammeyer. I think she's going to make it. Caitlin Keogh also is going to make it. I think when Brand gets there, this race will steady up.
Well, you say that. I'm not quite sure Sanne Cant and certainly Yolanda Neff would really want that to happen. They need to keep the pressure on, Brand. She's going to make a big effort to come across. Whether they know she's coming across, I would doubt right now. But if there's suddenly another orange jersey in that mix, I think Cant's done the right thing there. Just stay on the front.
Marianne Vos just dropping back a little bit. Couldn't get her feet in the pedals. Denise Betsema safely there. Neff going round that corner. Brandon Connin. Yolanda Neff is riding the race of the year here. Alex Heft wants to know, how's the rain affected the surface of the flyovers?
They've got a really good covering on those flyovers, a really good anti-slip kind of carpet. It's, yeah, they've done well to find that. I don't think the rain's really a problem with that. The problem with the rain on the flyovers, it's just made the transition from the flyover to the grass softer, so it's digging in little compression ditches at the bottom of the flyovers. Certainly it was something that the riders were putting another few PSI in the tyres to avoid compression punctures just coming off those bridges. Certainly the bridges aren't any slipperier than the grass.
Denise Betsema had a bit of a slide over those hurdles. Brand is almost there. She has closed that gap and seems to be getting back onto the wheels of the rest of the riders. Brammeyer is not far away, neither is Caitlin Keogh, who is also looking for a possible medal here. Brammeyer just looks a little bit more laboured, but Brand is edging closer and closer, just a few metres away. Lucinda Brand said that she wanted as many people as Marianne Vos does go into the pits this time. She had problems last time, off the bike really fast, back on and onto the wheel of Lucinda Brand, and that is going to help Lucinda Brand if she has any problems getting onto the back, because Marianne Vos will take her there. So the fastest lap so far, 23.6 kilometres an hour. Yolanda Neff on lap number 2. Denise Betsema, lap 1, 6:37.6. And now the race has calmed right down. Who's going to take it up? The Dutch know that they have got the big numbers here. And things have calmed right down with Lucinda Brand arriving. 4 Dutch, 1 Belgian, 1 Swiss in the front group. There's the rundown of the head of the race. And going to the front right now. Brand has put in a massive effort to get there. Marianne Vos is there as they make their way along the adverse camber. Oh, a problem for Lucinda Brand again. Unable to keep the bike straight, slides down. Brammeyer has had a great ride across that adverse camber section because she's now in the wheels. There's Yolanda Neff. Marianne Vos goes through, dives down. Still, we don't know where any of these medals are going. Everyone is in with a chance. We knew there were 10 riders potentially who could win, and we've got 7 of them at the front of the race. This is what we wanted, Simon.
It is, yeah, and all the names are there. I think I had 11 people on a podium list earlier, and certainly no surprises who's in this lead group. What is surprising is Lucinda Brand maybe making it a little bit harder for herself than I certainly expected, but she's still able to keep closing the gaps.
Let's take a look then at this replay. There's Brand. She was looking good. Suddenly the wheel just goes. There's no traction at all.
Yeah, front wheel as well, so it's...
Brammeyer trying to come across now. There's Caitlin Keogh in the background. Not far from the end of another lap. This will be the end of lap number 3. And we've got a front group of riders, any one of which could win the world title. Martin Dufort, you can clearly see Neff is faster on the technical descent. There's Marianne Vos, who is right on her limit at this moment in time. There is Brand. We come up, we'll see what the lap time was that time. Denise Betsema doing a tremendous performance on the front of this race so far. Across the line, Sanne Cant leads, and it was 6:52 the lap. There's Marianne Vos, She's breathing pretty heavily, Marianne Vos. There's Brand. And Brammeyer dropping away a little bit, but meanwhile, the front group has kind of calmed down. We're going to have a 7-lap race. This is lap number 4. Cant on the front. Thanks for all your messages. Quick American rider update. Caitlin Keogh is 8th at this moment in time. Katie Compton 18th. Rebecca Faringer 17th as far as the American riders are concerned. Matt Phippen is enjoying the racing, watching it on a double screen.
Somebody asking about the technology.
Yeah, what was
I
it?
hinted to. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say, actually. I've heard it's embargoed until tomorrow or next week. But just think an extra sprocket in electricity, and I think
an extra sprocket in electricity.
Yeah,
okay.
you'll get the picture, and Yolanda Neff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yolanda Neff, extra sprocket and electricity.
There you go.
Embargo till tomorrow. Cool. We'll ask her afterwards. Right, the race is all together now at the front. Things have calmed down. And while things are a bit calm, Simon, I've not done this before, but watching at the moment is Caitlin Trahan. Caitlin always watches all the World Cups and the World Champs with her boyfriend, Alex. She's a great Katie Compton fan, and she loves watching Yolanda Neff, so it's a perfect moment. And Caitlin would like to know, Alex, will you marry her?
How cool's that?
And we want to know...
We want the answer.
What Alex says.
Come on, Alex.
Caitlin.
Man up.
Alex, will you marry Caitlin? There we are. We want to know the answer. Send us the answer. Everyone now wants to know. Meanwhile, Yolanda Neff had a little bit of a problem right there, but she's coming back onto the wheels. And on the front of the race is Sanne Cant. And Yolanda Neff, having made that little error, is trying to get back in on the wheels. The front group still dominated by the Dutch riders. Caitlin, let us know what Alex says. Sanne trying to dominate the race and doing, I guess, what you said, Simon, in the first race of the day with Ben Tullett, where there were so many Belgian riders that he had to go to the front, and I guess that's what Sanne's doing with the Dutch.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense, and she's doing the right thing in my opinion. She wants to be out the front, and she's opening gaps. You know, she's stretching that group out. She's feeling good. One Dutch in front of you is okay. Once you get more than one, again, she'll probably know better than we will what the Dutch tactic is for this race, whether they're going to ride as a nation united just to get a winner in an orange jersey, or whether they are all riding with individual ambitions.
Nikki Brammeyer over the hurdles.
Dangling, isn't she, Nikki?
She is.
Not quite there, and it just shows how hard it is. You look at it and you think, it's just 5 seconds, that you can close that, Nikki, but everybody here is just on their limit.
They are on the limit. You can look at Marianne Vos and you can see how hard this race is. Mouth wide open, gulping in the oxygen. Yolanda Neff's having a difficult moment here. She's dropping back. I don't know if she's got a mechanical issue or whether she's just having a hard time. Suddenly, that effort at the beginning may well have started to pay. Sanne Cant going away with Denise Betzemer. Lucinda Brand there. She was the race favourite, I would say, with 3 World Cup wins, but Sanne is on a day, and we haven't seen this all season. Maybe Sanne's just ensured that everything has been tailored for the World Championships, and she's got good legs.
Well, she knows how to peak, doesn't she? You know, she's done it numerous occasions at World Championships, Sanne Cant, and she knows exactly what to do, which races she can back off a little bit, when to put the blocks of training in.
Looking down on the riders, Betzemer, Cant, behind her, Lucinda Brand, Marianne Vos. Yolanda Neff has kind of lost a few seconds here.
Good to get a long shot just to see what happened to Neff there, because whether she went into the pits that time or not, we couldn't see. She certainly lost some ground, which...
She was looking down at her bike, and I wonder whether that little fall meant that she had gear problems or something happened, but she's not there now.
She's not.
But we haven't seen her at all.
Certainly dropped back behind Brammer.
There she is. No, she's just in the gap.
To Brammer, yeah. So I think it's a physical, not a mechanical.
Maybe that huge effort at the beginning. I mean, a 6:36 lap from 4th row in the grid to get to the front must have been a massive effort. Anna-Marie Verst is starting to look better. She's now in the wheels again and not struggling back a little bit. Oops. Problem there for Betsema. Behind her, Sanne Cant. She just held back a little bit. But these two riders are pushing on, and Marianne Vos now is going.
Little look back from Cant. Betsema's not put a foot wrong so far.
When I spoke to her before the start, she was so ready for this race. You could tell. She said that I'm not nervous. There's no pressure. This feels like home. When someone says this feels like home, you know that things are going to be good.
This was her first ever World Cup last year.
Yeah.
It's incredible to think. I think she was probably pulled on the 80% last year at the World Cup. If not, she was very close. In 14 months, she's become a completely different rider.
She has.
Had a huge summer, really dedicated herself to this winter and just transformed herself. And that win at Coxside was something special. I think that just gave her that extra confidence as well, to show that that summer paid off. And I think this place has probably got a bit of a, like you said, a place in her heart. First World Cup.
Yeah.
Feels a bit like home. Quite happy by the sea with the wind blowing.
Yeah. She trains in the sand of the beaches up the north of the Netherlands, crossing the line at the end of this lap then, lap 4. And we have this front group of riders. That time it was a 6:58 lap, so a little bit slower by 6 seconds. Yolanda Neff is further behind. I think she's around 14 seconds, maybe 12 seconds behind now. But Neff has dropped back, and it could well have been just the pits. Oh, Brameyer's got a problem now.
No.
Yep, the chain has locked completely for Brameyer.
Oh, that's disaster.
Nothing she can do.
Looks like it's stuck between the cassette and the frame.
Yep. And once it's there, it's practically impossible.
To drop the wheel out to get it back in.
Here's our front group. Sanne Cant goes into the pits. New bike for her. Also into the pits is Marianne Vos. A little bit of congestion in there. Anna-Marie Verst on her European Championship bike. As they get back into the win now, and Denise Betsema presses on. She's making life really hard for the rest of the Dutch team today. There's Yolanda Neff coming round the corner. Was it a mechanical? Is it physical?
I think that's physical, back? Unless you went into the pits that we couldn't see on that last half lap.
On the front, Denise Betsema, Sanne Cant sitting second wheel. Sanne, can she bring home the hat-trick? Marianne Vos, 7 times world champion, having the season of her life again with that World Cup victory. She took the victory in Waterloo to start the season. She won in Bern, she won in Zolder, she won in Pontchâteau, and now she's trying to win another world title. 8 world titles she'd be on, but Yolanda is just not there. Suddenly, she just can't close the gap on the rest of the field. She was up there and fighting, and it seems to have... that little topple over may well have caused her problems. On to the next drop-off with the wire camera going over the top to give us a great view of how the riders drop down this drop-off. Still, we don't know who is going to win this world title. Although, Simon, you know, you said earlier, Brand, the longer the race goes on, the better she gets. There's your answer.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I forget as well, it's a 50-minute race. And, you know, we get all excited on the first lap when somebody's losing, you know, 5, 6, 7 seconds. But a rider of the class of Brand, she can play the long game here, and you know, 20 minutes to go, can start to wind it up and do some damage. And we've seen it before. You know, she's had races this season where she's come from behind. Hoogerheide last week, you know, she came from. She wasn't there the first couple of laps. Just while we're watching that, Alex, just need to let you know, if you say no, we've got Sean Mooney, who will say yes to the marriage proposal. So, Alex, the pressure's on.
I don't have the answer yet. I'm still waiting. Caitlin messaged me during the week and asked me if I would do that. And we had to get agreement that we were allowed to do that on air. So let's hope Alex says yes. Lucinda Brand on the front. Sanne Cant second place. Denise Betsema dropping back now. Anna-Marie Verst and Marianne Vos. Lucinda Brand is dragging this race away and putting in a huge effort. This rider won in Hoogerheide, she won in Namur, and she won in Tabor. And Tabor was an icy circuit. Brand knows this is a big, big opportunity for her to win the world title. She's on the absolute form of her life. Bronze medalist last year, 2018. It was Sanne Cant, Katie Compton, Lucinda Brand. The year before, Katarina Nash took the bronze medal, of course. She's racing here. We haven't seen anything of her at all. 3 riders now at the front. Yolanda Neff is now at 22 seconds, having been there in the front group. Eva Lechner down in 14th. Helen Wyman in 16th. Rebecca Faringer of the USA in 17th. Katarina Nash in 19th. Magali Rochette in 24th for Canada. Ellen Noble in 21st place for the United States of America. Just a little slide there by Denise Betsema. It's funny when you see these riders all in the Dutch kits, because normally we're so used to them in their trade team kits. And you suddenly see just how strong the Dutch are on the road and in cyclocross.
Yeah, you don't realise, or you don't think necessarily what nationality they are when they're riding for their trade teams.
It's very, very impressive. Marianne Vos holding on at the back.
It does feel like those last two, Anne-Marie Verst and Vos, are just hanging on, doesn't it?
It does.
But Cant still super attentive to the this prolonged effort from Brand.
If it came to the finish line, Sanne Cant just pedals back to Lucinda Brand. To me,
that looked good.
Sanne Cant's on a very good day.
Because she took time out of Betsema along that section.
Betsema trying to come back to the wheels. These riders are absolutely on the limit now. Marianne Vos, when you see Marianne Vos have a face like that, just shows how tough this bike race is. Lap number 5 of 7, 33 minutes gone. And the way that Sanne Cant just pedaled from that overhead camera back onto the wheel of Lucinda Brand would give you the indication that she's on the best day she's had for the season. And if it came to a sprint between Brand and Sanne Cant, I'm not sure who would win.
I think we said exactly the same 2 years ago in Luxembourg when it was the Marianne Vos-Sanne Cant sprint.
Yeah.
And I think we all expected Marianne to take that one quite easily. And Sanne Cant did a great move in the last corner and took the sprint. And I don't think you could discount it.
6:49, Simon, that lap. 6:49, which was 9 seconds faster than the lap before. So Lucinda Brand's turned in a 22.88 kilometre lap to try and get rid of the rest of the riders. But the answer at the end of the lap is that 4 riders are still together. Anna-Marie Verst, the under-23 world champion in Bielis.
She did well to get back on there. She closed that gap, and Marianne Vos didn't. Vos is on the limit, isn't she? Trying to get...
Yeah, Marianne is right on the absolute red. What a race this is so far. 2 more laps to go, and still we've got this group at the front. Who is going to win?
Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Lucinda Brand has a fall in the pits.
That was a bad mistake by the mechanic.
It was.
I don't know what he was thinking.
What was he doing?
You don't body check your own rider.
Incredible. Here we go. Into the pits. Oh, he just... I don't know what was going on there.
Completely mechanic fault, that. That wasn't Lysander Brand's fault.
No. Every time there's a World Championships where Brand is competitive, something happens. And that was incredible. 3 riders at the front. If she comes back from this, then that's going to show just how strong she is today. But also, every little match that you liked empties the box. Brand trying to get the mud out of her eyes. She didn't want to have to make an effort like this. Mariana, I tell you, Mariana's helping her. Trying to help her.
Well, yeah, I think she just needs that springboard back to that lead group. It's good to have Vos there.
The thing about Mariana Vos is if she's not on a good day, she will become the ultimate teammate.
Absolutely. I don't think right now that's not playing in her mind. I think she's so close to that front group, Vos.
Right, so...
But
Sanne's going.
A few bike lengths there.
There's Lucinda Brand. She'll be a bit shaken after that fall. And Denise Betsema trying to stay on the wheel. Mariana Vos has actually recovered. And they're all coming back together again. Brand is digging so deep here. That will be playing on her mind. She'll be really less than impressed. I wouldn't want to take her on at the end of this race. She'll be pretty angry.
I cannot get my head around what that mechanic was trying to do, grabbing a bike by the saddle. You know, you don't do it. You grab a bike by the bars when the rider drops it. It's just unbelievable.
On the front then, Sanne Cant is leading. Denise Betsema behind, then Mariana Vos, Anna-Marie Verst, Lucinda Brand. Sanne is going clear. Big attack by Sanne Cant. This is impressive. We have not seen Sanne Cant like this at the front of any of the World Cups this season. And she's riding away from 4 Dutch riders.
Yeah, but same, we just looked at Vos there, but yeah, Vos has been dangling off the back of that group, and I'm sure if you don't have the legs to come back to the group, it's going to be a hard ask to come back to Cant.
Yeah.
But Betsema obviously doesn't have the legs because she would have taken it up, so...
She put in the early riding in this race.
Brand's the one. Brand is the one, I think, out of those 4 that could have the legs to close that gap.
Look at Mariana trying to come back here. She's giving this as much as she can. Down the descent. Betsema straight on the wheels.
That's impressive by Vos.
George B said, who was it that won the Ronda against the quick-step trio? Well, it was...
Stannard.
It was Stannard when he attacked the 3 quick-step riders. And actually, I met him in the airport the week after, and he still couldn't believe it. And said, I just can't believe the mistakes they made. He thought there was no way he was going to win. 3 seconds now, the advantage for Sanne Cant. Mariana Vos is trying to close the gap. Betsema's there. Brand has had a couple of trials and tribulations, but she's in on the wheels. Anna-Marie Verst in the 4th wheel of these Dutch riders. Brand goes past Betsema. She's recovered now. Round the corner, Mariana Vos in front of her. Betsema going with her. But Sanne Cant just has that slender advantage after 39 minutes and 40 seconds of racing. Sanne's just doing everything right. She's taking the race on. She's making them chase. She's got daylight. She can ride the course how she wants to. She looks around that time to just see whether there's anybody behind her. About 3 seconds is the gap. There's Mariana Vos. Behind her, Lucinda Brand. Betsema for the first time looks fatigued. Anna-Marie Verst also. Sanne Cant is up against 2 Dutch riders, I would say, right now. One of them is Vos, one of them is Brand. Will they bring her back? 5 seconds, Simon.
That effort by Vos, I can't get my head around how she was off the back of that group. visibly struggling and is able to take Brand back up to the front. That is so impressive. And you see Vos, the effort she makes, and she knows exactly when to take a breath just to try and get a little bit of recovery. You see her sit up, massive deep breath. You can't never say never with Vos, can you?
Vos flicks the elbow, says to Brand, come through, do some work. Come on, we can get her back. Sanne Cant coming up, 1 lap of racing to go for the defending champion, who no one has mentioned as a possible winner of today. Sanne Cant crosses the line after 41 minutes. 6:46, the second fastest lap of the race so far by Sanne Cant. Behind her, Lucinda Brand, then Marianne Vos. The gap is 6 seconds to Lucinda Brand. Are they going to bring her back? Then it's Anna-Marie Verst, then Denise Betzemer, but Sanne Cant is looking superb this afternoon. She described the course as special. She said you go along an adverse camber, through the pits, over the hurdles, back up over the camber, back through the pits. That's what it is. Nice and simple, and so far it's playing to her strengths. Brand is giving this everything she can, but Sanne Cant is riding with a 5-second advantage now with 1 lap to go.
Brand's coming back, it feels like.
It's nail-biting.
Vos back in for a bike.
Vos shakes her head, takes a bike. The mechanic, her dad, this time gives her the bike. Marianne trying to get the mud out of her eyes. Comes in on the wheels. But Sanne Cant still has an advantage as they go along the waterline. This is a horrible section, straight into a biting wind. Sanne Cant looks around. Brand is hunting her down. She looks around to see if Marianne can give her a help. The answer is no, because Marianne is now 4 seconds behind Lucinda Brand. Who is going to win this world title? Brand has won 3 rounds of the World Cup. Sanne Cant has not been on the top step of the podium in a World Cup all season. Brand comes carefully around that corner, tries to find a little bit of traction. Cant accelerates hard. Is the world title going back to Belgium?
It's a drag race, isn't it? It is such a long straight. It's totally visible for Brand. She can see Cant. One little mistake by either of these is going to decide the race.
Up onto the top step now. Sanne Cant's already riding. Lucinda Brand seemed to labour a little bit across there, but she can see Sanne Cant. This is the thing, she's got the carrot in front of her and she's going after her. Sanne Cant in the colours of Belgium. Lucinda Brand round the corner, little bit of power back on, then she can see Sanne just at the top of this camber now. Can she get there? No one would deny Sanne Cant this hat-trick. She thoroughly deserves it. She looks good today. 2017 and 18, she took the title. Where is she? There she is. Another big effort. Sitting right on the front of the saddle, pedaling hard. I think this could be the title for, I don't know, Lucinda Brand's coming back again. Whenever you get on the flat sections where a road rider's speed tells, Lucinda Brand closes a gap again.
Yeah, I think Cant's better on her feet.
Brand is superb on the flat.
It's so close right now. Those few seconds, it's just one little mistake, but it just feels like Cant's just taken another second or two back on those 2 up and down the banks.
5 seconds. But this is the point where Brand is good. Sanne Cant holding on. Brand is now, I think, 4 seconds behind. She takes another second out of her. Can she bring this back? Everyone is going completely and utterly wild around here. We still do not know who's going to win the world title. There is Brand with another big power effort to try and bring Cant back. Cant is fully committed to this. Onto the bridge for another time. Has she got it? Has she got enough distance between her and Lucinda Brand? What a world championship race this is. If Lucinda Brand doesn't get Sanne Cant back, then you would say that this has been decided by a mechanic in the pits.
Absolutely. 100%.
Twists and turns round now. Has she got enough? Onto this camber. This is where Sanne Cant is better. Lucinda Brand hasn't ridden this section well. And Sanne now rides across the top. Gets off. Perfect feet.
Nice, no mistakes at all.
That was really good then. Lucinda Brand, meanwhile.
Staying a bit longer.
Can she do it?
That's another second there for Cant, I'm pretty sure. That's all she needs. Just these little seconds here and there. No mistakes, Sanne.
Down this drop-off. Brand is there. I don't think she can do it. This is so close. Lucinda Brand's giving it everything. On to the next run-up where Cant is always a little bit quicker. Brand has had to pull herself up this bit. There she goes. Fast feet this time. Look at the speed of the legs of Lucinda Brand. That was very, very fast by Brand. Big descent now. Onto the flat. This is where Sanne Cant has got to produce a flat section of her life. Brand is slowly but surely clawing her back. 6 seconds though, we're being told. She wears number 13. Normally it's not a lucky number. Can it be for Lucinda Brand? Clicking her way through the gears again. Onto the tarmac section. It looks like Sanne Cant is going to win the world title. Down the drop-off, onto the tarmac. It is going to be the world title for Sanne Cant. She looks around. A hat-trick of victories is going to be hers. What an incredible women's race. Sanne Cant is going to be the world champion. Congratulations, Lucinda Brand. You can see the disappointment on her face because Belgium take the world title. Sanne Cant takes the hat-trick of wins. She takes the rainbow bands. What a victory. Superb. Impressive. Sanne Cant takes it. Behind her, just a few seconds back, is Lucinda Brand. She takes the silver, one up from last year. Behind her is Marianne Vos with the bronze.
Massive ride by Sanne Cant. So impressive to pull that off against the might of the Dutch. That was so good.
Denise Betsemer comes in 4th. Lucinda Brand is going to be a bit... well, I don't know what she's going to say at the end of this race. Anna-Marie first in 5th. But Sanne Cant just looked superb today. She just had it. She just had everything nailed. She knew the circuit. It played to her strengths when she went to the front. And it's been one of those seasons where you test a bike rider and you find out just how good they are. Yolanda Neff coming in 6th place. 6th place for the Swiss rider. 7th place for Caitlin Keogh. It's going to be 8th place for, I think, Nikki Brammeyer, who's recovered after that mechanical. I don't think Sanne can quite believe it. Very emotional rider here. It's kind of a mix of like emotion and disbelief.
Yeah, and you don't see Cant like that very often.
No.
It's nice to see because that was such an impressive ride, and you can see how much it means to her. She's been world champion 2 times, 3rd time in a row. Just, you know, to do that against the Dutch, I think that means a lot. Well, you know it means a lot. The whole Belgian-Dutch battle. And 4 against 1. To pull that off, yeah, that's stand out against Quick Step, but
yeah,
in women's cyclo-cross, you don't get many races better than that.
No, that was superb. That was an impressive race. Well, a very emotional Sanne Cant. We've seen her in tears on the podium for other reasons, but I don't think she can quite believe it.
Is it? Okay, thank you.
It's hot. She said, what is this? It's hot.
Don't wipe your face with that, Sanne.
No.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay.
Here she is.
This is real stuff.
Sanne, congratulations. That was a very close contest. Less than 10 seconds with the second. How was it possible?
Yeah, but it was a really fast race and there was a lot of wind, so it's normal. It's the gaps are not too big. It was really tactical race because I was just with 3 or 4 Dutch riders, so I have to be smart.
At the end of the last lap, you could feel the breath of the Denise behind you, which was very, very close. How did you cope with that? How did you handle that?
Yeah, it's difficult to see, but I heard it on the ground. So I was. There was 2 laps of the end. I had just a small gap, but it wasn't part of my plan. So it was difficult to say. To decide if I could wait or just try to stay before. But yeah, it was the right tactic, and I'm really, really happy.
And that's the right course, the right turf. You like it. You won last year here at the World Cup. What do you like exactly in this course?
Yeah, it's quite technical because it was ice yesterday, and now it was a little bit warmer, so it was a little bit muddy and quite slippery. So I really like the uphills and technical stuff.
And this year you have achieved something amazing, a treble, 3 years in a row. How does it feel something for you? Does it mean something right now?
Yeah, the first one was unaccepted, and this one, I really can't believe it. Last year I was so happy, but this is just amazing. I'm a Belgian rider in front of I think 3 Dutch riders, so it was the press didn't make it easy for me, but I answered with my pedals.
That's indeed amazing. Thank you very much, and congratulations again. Thank you, Sanne. Thank you.
Sanne Cant. Well, we wanted a big race and we got it.
Absolutely, yeah. And Sanne answered with the pedals, like she said.
There's confirmation of the result. Sanne Cant wins her 3rd world title, 47 minutes and 53 seconds. 9 seconds ahead of Lucinda Brandt. Marianne Vos again on the podium of the World Championships Cyclo-cross in 3rd place. Jolanda Neff, coming from the 4th row of the grid, finishes 6th. Caitlin Keogh of the USA, again, a consistent performance by her in 7th. And good to see Sophie de Boer up there in 9th place after such a difficult couple of years, having won the World Cup in 2016. Here's the rundown of the top 20 riders, containing Alicia Arzuffi, another great rider from this season from Italy. Rebecca Fahringer there in 16th place, great for the United States of America. Katarina Nash down there in 20th. It would be interesting to know what happened to Jolanda Neff.
Yeah, unless she went into the pits, which we couldn't see, then I think it was just paying for that massive effort in the first lap and a half to get up to the front. You know,
yeah.
she did a huge effort there, but I think, you know, she's one of these riders. She's a racer. She wants to put herself in the race, and she did it. Whether she had a problem or not, I think we'll find out later. But hugely impressive still to see her go from the 4th row to the lead group within those first couple of laps, and certainly animated the race. But you know, it was all about the Dutch, wasn't it? The Dutch and Sanne Cant. And for Cant to do that to the Dutch, there's going to be some disappointed Dutchmen in the hotel.
Certainly are.
This evening, Dutch men, Dutch women, and I think, you know, that barring that accident with the mechanic when Lucinda Brandt went in to change bikes, I think it might have been, well, I don't know if it's a different result. It would have certainly been a different last lap and a half, because I'm pretty sure those two would have been together. maybe to the finish, but we'll never know. And it's a shame that that Brand got taken out like that.
Marianne Vos looking a bit shell-shocked at the end of that race. Just a very tough bike race indeed. And Mariana did so much work early in the race and to try and get back across different gaps that had happened. In a few moments then we'll bring you the presentation of the final race of the afternoon.
We will start this award ceremony as soon as possible.
The riders just getting cleaned up after that race of 47 minutes. In the last few days, as we take a look here at what was happening out on the course, Lucinda Brand slipping and sliding all over the place at times. She had a few tumbles today and still finished second. But Brand, this was the point where she really started to look good. This was the moment of a mechanic taking the bike. And wondering what might have been. Well, women's cyclocross is growing. Yesterday, the UCI agreed the global plan for women's cyclocross. Prize money of the World Cup standings 2018-2019 will be equal for men and women. From 2019-2020, there will be a gradual increase in the women's prize money at the World Cup rounds and the introduction of a junior category at the World Championships. And then the following year, women's elite races will be 50 minutes minimum, and the introduction of the women's junior category at the World Cup, not the World Championships. And then thereafter, the development and growth of the sport, ensuring equality over time and ensuring that the different categories are catered for. That's the plan. If you want to read more, uci.org is the place to go. Few people asking to see the bike change. We've just shown that again. So Simon, World Cyclo-cross, Women's Cyclo-cross, those development plans are in place now to bring it to the standard that everyone's calling for.
Yes, it's taken. It's going to take 3 years to get complete equality, and I think some people say that's too slow. And there was such a big gap that it needs that time to equalise it. It's a massive commitment by organisers to find the extra money, resources to equalise it straight away. And everybody knows, it has to be equal. And I think that the way the UCI have done it it's been very measured, it's been very thought out, and it's been something that the organisers are able to accept and to cope with. And in 2 years' time, we'll have 100% equality, which is absolutely the ultimate goal.
These are the highlights of today's race. As we see Lucinda Brand, a crash here, a slip and a slide there, a fall here. That was one of her okay bike changes. But a race dominated by Sanne Cant and 4 Dutch riders. A little bit busy in the pits when you're trying to change so many of your same team all at the one time. Very impressive ride by Denise Betsema to finish 4th in your first World Championships. And this is the moment of Lucinda Brand falling in the pits.
I think the mechanic tried to take the bike before she'd unclipped. So she hadn't unclipped her left foot, but the mechanic was trying to take the bike.
Yeah.
So, to me, it's still mechanic error. Let the rider get off. If she overshoots, then that's not a problem because she'll just drop the bike. But for the mechanic to try and take a bike before the riders let go of it, that's the issue. Whether Brand had released a foot or not.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I hope you've enjoyed all the racing today. We're waiting for the podium presentation. And we'll bring you up to date with everything during tomorrow, of course, as well.
Still no news on the marriage proposal.
News. I don't have it yet.
Yeah.
I will let you know when. We'll check overnight. The podium presentation about to happen. And Sanne Cant is going to be on the top step after a race where we didn't really discuss her as a possible winner. She was there in the top 10 riders, but
she was on
not
everybody's
a favourite,
list, wasn't she? Yes, but I think everyone was looking at that kind of Brand Vos Betsema as maybe one of those as the outright favourite. But I don't think anybody discounted Cant. It was just he wasn't top of most people's list.
No. Just purely by the way she'd ridden all season. That it had been consistent, but nothing like she was the year before.
Well, like you said, she didn't win a World Cup, did she?
No.
And normally you'd expect at least one win from her in a World Cup round.
She finally showed that she was coming back to form in Zolder, where she took 3rd place, and she looked extremely pleased to be back on the podium. But before Zolder, she hadn't even finished in the top 3 of a World Cup all season. Here we are then, making our way onto the podium for this World Championship. Marianne's dad congratulating all the riders. Here's our podium for the women's elite race.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we have your attention, please, for this official UCI award ceremony of the 2019 Cyclo-cross
Lucinda Brand,
World Championships
unfortunately, the emotion
Bogense,
is
Denmark.
just too much for her here on the podium.
Publikum, vi nu klar til præmierækkelse. Cykelcross verdensmesterskabet for dame elite.
During this award ceremony, all the medals and also the rainbow jersey will be presented by Mr. Harald Tiedemann Hansen, member of the UCI Management Committee and president of the UCI Cyclo-cross Commission.
Regnbuetrøjen og medaljerne vil blive overrakt af Harald Tiedemann Hansen, medlem
Well,
af
you have to
UCI's
feel for a
Management
rider at this
Committee og
moment.
præsident for UCI's
We've seen Sanne in the same
Cyclo-cross
position a few
Committee.
years ago before she took her world title. And Lucinda just very, very emotional here.
Mine damer og
I think
herrer,
Marianne
på
feels the
tredjepladsen
same.
Og vinder af bronzemedaljerne, representing the Netherlands, Marianne Vos!
Marianne Vos takes the bronze medal for the Netherlands.
Who will receive her bronze medal out of the hands of Mr. Harald Tiedemann Hansen as the official UCI representative. 3rd place bronze medal for Marianne Vos from the Netherlands. In 2nd place, the winner of the silver medal, also representing the Netherlands.
Og mine damer og herrer, på andenpladsen og vinder af sølvmedaljerne, ligeledes repræsenterende Holland. Tag godt imod Lucinda Brand!
Lucinda Brand, silver medalist. It just shows how much it means to these riders.
For Lucinda Brand from the Netherlands. Give her a big applause, Lucinda Brand! And then, ladies and gentlemen, for a 3rd consecutive time, in 1st place, the winner of the gold medal and new world champion representing Belgium.
Mine damer og herrer, for 3. gang i træk, vinder af verdensmesterskabet og guldmedaljerne fra Belgien. Mine damer og herrer, tag godt imod Sanne Cant!
3 wins in a row for the Belgian rider Sanne Cant.
In the women elite category, she is receiving.
She puts back on the rainbow bands.
And also the gold medal out of the hands of Mr. Harald Tiedemann Hansen, who is also the president of the UCI Cyclo-cross Commission.
Og det er Harald Tidemann,
gets the gold medal.
medlem af UCI's Management Committee, som overrækker trøje og guldmedaljer til Lucinda.
Sanne Cant rode such a good race today.
Henrik Jensen, the president of the Danish Cycling Federation, to present the flowers for our 3 riders on the podium.
Og så bliver det Henrik Jensen, præsident for Danmarks Cykelunion, som overrækker blomster til de 3 medaljetagere.
They will receive flowers. First of all, Marianne Vos will receive flowers. And
Marianne Vos gets the flowers.
With her bronze medal, we have flowers also coming up for Lucinda Brandt, the winner of the silver medal in this race. And of course, we have flowers for the new world champion, her 3rd world title, Sanne Cant from Belgium.
Sanne Cant will carry the rainbow bands into next season again.
May we now have your attention, please?
And now for the national anthem.
National anthem of Belgium. Our 3 riders on the podium. Marianne Vos.
There's our podium in the women's elite race. Sanne Cant in the rainbow bands. Marianne Vos
Our congratulations.
with the bronze medal. Lucinda Brandt with the silver. Sanne Cant outwitted
And maybe ask them to take one more step
4
to the front,
Dutch
please, for the
riders.
final pictures during this official UCI award ceremony.
Three wins. The Belgians are going to party tonight. There is no doubt. She's going to go and sign the rainbow jersey. Just one of those days it wasn't going to be for the Dutch.
Because we're ready tomorrow, Nico, and the program starts at 11 o'clock tomorrow. So please be here in good time. Be here at 11 o'clock, and we'll start with the women's under 23.
Tomorrow then we have 2 races. 11 o'clock is the under 23 women, and then the men's elite race in the afternoon. Simon, going to be a big day tomorrow again.
It is, yeah. After today, I think there's going to be some interesting battles. I think we've seen how the course is affecting the races, and I think, yeah, tomorrow we've got favourites in both of those, the same as we had today, and I think it's just going to be a fascinating battle in both of those races.
Certainly is. 11 o'clock Danish time is the under 23 women. The men's in the afternoon. Sanne Cant and her fan club are going to party, and she has taken the world title here to end a season really that isn't one to speak about, but sometimes things turn around and you become the world champion. That's what Sanne Cant's managed to do this afternoon. Great racing. She didn't put a foot wrong for the entire race. Well, we've enjoyed a good day of racing here in Bogense, right on the coast here in Denmark. The course has been an interesting one. It's produced some great racing. And we've seen 2 world titles for Great Britain, Ben Tullett and Tom Pidcock, and a world title for Belgium in Sanne Cant. Tomorrow we'll be back with more action. 11 o'clock is the under-23 race. The afternoon is the men's elite race to end the programme. And this course, Simon will have a look at in the morning and see how it's changed, see whether anything is any different to today. In the meantime, everyone's going to go around and party, I'm sure. The beer tent is flowing nicely, and the party has continued throughout the day. Thanks to all of you for joining us for the UCI World Cyclo-cross Championships. We've seen some superb racing, and I'm sure we're going to see just as much tomorrow. We'll leave you with some highlights of today's racing. Bye for now.